Yeah, so I know we're going to get a Hogwarts Legacy DLC in the new year in 2025. And my expectations for it, that we're going to get some Quidditch involved. Now, let's look at where we're currently at. So, we do have Quidditch Champions. And every single week that game goes on, every single day, it's losing players. And we know these companies do not like to pay for games that are having no people playing it. It's just going to eventually, they're going to cut cords with it. So, this gives them a good opportunity in the new year to add in Quidditch into either the DLC or Hogwarts Legacy 2. Now, I think we've got several different options, and I can hear a lot of people now going, "Oh no, they're not going to add it in because we've got Quidditch Champions." Yeah, no. That game's gone. It's going to go maybe 6 months, 8 months, a year. It's going to go. So let's look at what we can get in the potential DLC for Quidditch. I think one thing they might do is they might just transfer over the base game from Quidditch Champions over to Hogwarts Legacy or the DLC, and obviously make it a single player game. It's already there. It won't be as much fun, but at least you're going to have a Quidditch game inside Hogwarts Legacy, which a lot of people are gonna want for. I think something else they may look at is having individual positions, and instead of having the actual game in there, just adding in little activities for the beater or the chaser or the keeper, or the seeker, catcher, yeah, so all those other positions where they could just go and do different activities, different quests, and then maybe add that one single role into the Quidditch game, which I think a lot of people really enjoy as well. Um, Me personally, I can't see us getting any sort of full Quidditch game. I don't think we're going to get that. I don't think we're going to get even like the individual positions. I think we might get some 2v2 or 3v3 and have only goalkeeper and chasers. So you can have just those two positions and you can make it a nice, friendly 3v3 competitive 90-second, 2-minute game, which I think people will enjoy. And you could go on the Quidditch pitch and make it an individual Quidditch game, but a smaller version without the seeker, without the beaters. Just make it a bit more simplified. Looking at looking at the full game though, they do have the opportunity to go into a main quest where you have a Quidditch day. So the day itself, you start the day and it's breakfast. You're talking about it, and the buzz and the hype around the venue, around school, it is really excitable because it's Gryffindor against Slytherin or Hufflepuff against Gryffindors. It's just a really big game. People are dressed differently, and that'll be a really neat thing to see in one of these games. Then you can have pre-game, you can have practice before you decide which position you're going to play. Then you can have some pep talks, some pre-game talks, which you might have different options, which could alter how someone plays in the game. And then you go and play the game, and then you have the post-match. And some of the best chapters in Harry Potter, some of the best scenes in the later films was the post Quidditch scenes. People in the common rooms cheering and shouting, um, people spraying bottles around, and it's a really nice, fun filled atmosphere. So that's something that we could potentially get from a full Quidditch day. One of the big ones that I've looked at and talked about before, I've talked to my friends about this, is potentially having a Quidditch manager style game when it comes to Quidditch in Hogwarts Legacy. So if those that have played Final Fantasy X, you've got Blitzball, and you are just a single player in the game, but you do get to go around and build your roster, build your team. So maybe they could add that into a new Hogwarts Legacy game. Probably not the DLC, but if they're going to add it coming up, so where you can go around and you'll have a nice selection of players throughout the school, especially in your houses, where you might have two or three goalkeepers, 5 or 6 chasers, a couple of seekers, maybe a couple of good beaters. But you got to go and find them, add them into your roster, and then every game they play, they get better and better and better. They get better catching skills, better awareness skills, better speed, and it's things like that that I think that might really bring to life a nice Quidditch game. So for me, I would really like the Quidditch manager style, and you could also then potentially in that game, you could have an option to go and view the match. Can you go and sit in the stands on view, or it might allow you to play one position. And that would be a really cool, maybe you're in a set position to make it really simple. So you're only going to go and play chaser. You're only going to go and play goalkeeper. And then you select your beaters. You select your seeker. And obviously the game will then be randomized, hopefully. You don't want to be, don't want a set score. So randomized as you play. And the game could vary depending on how good a team you've got. And I think that would be a really neat way that we could potentially get we can get Quidditch into a Hogwarts Legacy type game.